Good morning and welcome to Wednesday, November 5th, pre-recorded class on online real estate. This class we're going to talk about real estate and the online services that are available to people in the real estate industry. As you may know, I am a commercial real estate appraiser. I have a business and I've been in business since 1984. Matter of fact, in the early 1990s, I used to teach some real estate classes at Morehouse College. They're now being taught by Mr. Brian King, but I used to teach those classes. So today I'm going to talk about real estate and the online data and information that's available. Some of it is free, some of it there's a fee. But I also want you to see this because some of you may be interested in the real estate industry, or you may have friends or family members that are interested or currently working in the real estate industry. And if so, some of these websites that we're going to talk about today, you may want to introduce them to your friends and family. Or should you decide to get into the real estate business, you should probably bookmark these sites so that you can use them in the future. The first one I'm going to go to is the one that we've kind of been using throughout the last couple of weeks, probably last month, which is the NetR Online site. As you know, it's a free site. Let's talk a little bit about real estate in general. In the United States, information about real estate is kept by the counties. And the 50 states are broken down into counties. As I said earlier, there's about 3,200 counties in the United States. And it's the responsibility of these counties to keep track of real estate. In Louisiana, in the state of Louisiana, the counties are called parishes. And in some of the older states, like Connecticut, it's the towns or the cities that keep track of real estate. But one of the great things about the United States is that all the real estate information is free and available to use. In some states, like Mississippi, it's not necessarily open records, but in the other 49 states, and there may be one other, but let's say 48 states, you can go in and just look up information without a problem and at no charge. They keep all types of information about real estate. The size of the land, how many buildings are on it, the size of the buildings, all types of information is kept on that. Well, now that it used to be, before the internet, you actually had to go to each individual county and physically go to the courthouse and look up that information. However, starting in the late 1990s, counties began to put their data online. I remember when Fulton County started doing that. I used to spend so much time downtown on Pryor Street in the Fulton County Tax Assessor's office. And then I remember seeing them converting all those old paper records to digital and to put them on the web. So now we have access to just about all the counties throughout the United States from our desktop. And NetR Online is a website that brings all those and links all that information together. As you know, we've basically been going into Florida and Georgia, but we can go to any other states. Let's go to Tennessee. And we can go into different counties in Tennessee and find out information on the properties. These are all the counties. So So if we were to take one, let's see if I know of one here. I think Franklin is probably a pretty good one. You may want to go here to check your parents' property, or your grandparents, or aunt and uncle. Well, let's go to Franklin County. We go to the assessor. We also have the Register of Deeds, which is where all the transactions of all the properties are taking place. Notice that one is by prescription only. And then the tax office, so you can pull up the tax records. Some of you have asked me about tax deeds. You've probably watched all these infomercials on how you can make money on tax deeds. And you can go to this site and get that kind of information. But when you go into, here is the state of Tennessee. So it looks like the state is maintaining some of the online data for all the different counties in Tennessee. Let's see if Franklin is on here. Oh, I know Jefferson County. There's Franklin. Jefferson County, which I think is Nashville. Now we can go here into Franklin, and let's say owner's name, let's just say Smith. And it brings up all properties owned by someone whose last name is Smith in Franklin County. And you've got property address, you have all kinds of information, but let's select the first one. And in here, it gives us information about the property. Notice it has previous sales, but there's no price. And that's because they're older sales. They put the information in, but they just didn't put the price information in. Now the newer sales will have that information. You see the book and page. These are the books and pages where the information is located. So if we went into the county of Franklin to their courthouse, we could go to their records room and find this book and page, and you'll see the sales deed on it. Let's go back up here. Notice it tells us it's a single family home. Exterior wall has siding, central heat and air, built in 1989, 2 stories, and it tells us square footage. As I said earlier, each county is different. Some counties will have pictures of the property, they'll have floor plans. This county, it appears, does not have that. So NetR Online is a good site to go to just to find out who owns a piece of property or find out information about the property anywhere in the United States, including Hawaii and Alaska. Not all sites are free. Now I've put together here, if you go to myappLink.us, it'll bring you to a bookmark site that I created. And this site has links to all types of real estate information. Some of it is free and some of it costs money. These are the services that cost money, but all the rest of these are free. So if you know someone who is, again, interested in real estate or they're in the real estate industry, they can come in and access this site free of charge and use it to get, if you need zip code information, Click here, type in the zip code, and it'll come back with zip code demographic information. It's called zipwho.com. Come on in here. My computer's running a little slow, but excuse me. Okay, here it is. This is Fayette County. And here's information about Fayette County. The median income, which tells you it's in the top 10% of the nation. Cost of living index. Owner occupied. Median rooms, college, percentage of people with college degrees, all type of basic information. With black, white, Asian, Hispanic, makeup, married, divorced, male to female ratio, median age. So they have that for every county. Not every county, every zip code. But there's a lot of information here. What I want to show you now are some of the paid sites, because I just want you to see what type of information is out there. And even though these sites are paid, they're not that expensive, but you can get quite a bit of information. The first site is called LoopNet. Many people, when they think of real estate, they think of homes, because that's what most people are familiar with, where they live. But there's also commercial property, and there's a lot of it. All those shopping centers, all those fast food restaurants, all those stores, that's commercial real estate, and that's the area that my market is in. This site tracks sales. It costs about $30 a month, which may seem like a lot, but there are other sites out there that cost a lot more. You can find sales on multifamily homes, office, industrial, retail, land, agriculture. You can see the list. Let's look at multifamily. And let's look at what state. Let's go to, we've been in Florida and Georgia. Let's go to North Carolina. And let's say we want to look at the ones over the last 2 years that have been built since 1980. And 100 apartments or units or more. It'll come back. As you can see, a lot in Charlotte, Greensboro, and Durham. There's one down in Fayetteville. I'm not sure where that is. Hicksonville, maybe. But it shows you a map, and then you can actually go and look at all of these apartments. Let's look at one here. It has a picture on it. This is an apartment complex, 299 units. It sold in this past July for $11.4 million. It's on 23.69 acres. And that's the buyer and the seller. The building size of all the different units. And if, let's say, we wanted to get We want to see what this place looked like. Here's a little map. Let's copy this, right mouse click, and let's go to Google and search. Click on the maps. And this is the property. Let's see if we can go ahead and get a, yeah. Let's click on here so we can see what it looks like at street level. Okay, here's the apartment complex. And if we want to, we can walk down the street, check it out. Now, of course, this is an older picture. I don't know when the Google truck took the picture, but it is relatively recent. So this is actually amazing if you think of the way it used to be. But now, you can go online, find apartment complexes throughout North Carolina, and actually go look at it and see what it looks like. So that one, those units sold for $38,127 each. It also has information on the owner and mortgage. It was $11 million. They had they have an $8 million mortgage in which it was assumed. The lender is Fannie Mae, federal government. Here's some more basic information about the property, including the zoning, taxes. We only saw one picture on this property. I don't know if it has any more. It just has that one. But we were able to go down there and look at more, go on the Google view and see it. Turn that off. And we can go back and we can find other sales. If we're looking in Charlotte, we got some of them have pictures. The ones that don't have pictures, we have to go to Google and find the pictures ourselves. So LoopNet is a really nice software package. They cover all 50 states. And as you saw earlier from the search, you can search for all types of commercial property that have sold. And you can look at them in all 50 states. So that's LoopNet. Another service is the state of Georgia. When you buy or sell a piece of property, the state of Georgia has a tax on it. And because there's a tax, the state of Georgia collects real estate information. And they've created a site that allows all 159 counties in Georgia to pool their information together. And of course, the state of Georgia charges for it. But what you can do is you can go in here, and I'm going to, an example here. I'm going to go to Fulton County, and I'm going to look up Sistrunk. And it's going to ask me to log in, which I'll do here in a minute. It's got all these cisterns. Let's go to the last one and work backwards. There it is. There's Oscar cistern and Toloka cistern. So let me check mine. I don't know why she has 3 and I only have 1. But you can look up the piece of property. And I can actually view the actual document. Now, this is 1997, so this is some old stuff. But you can go back. And it's actually, you can see the little thumbprint of it. But this is, I believe, a mortgage I had on some property that was paid off. All right, yeah, so here's the piece of property. It actually shows you the deed. So if you can imagine, the state of Georgia, every deed that is now recorded that talks about the buying and selling of property or any kind of tax liens, anything on some property is at this site and recorded at this site, and you can search and find it. This site costs about $17 a month, $25 a month for the premium service. And I use the premium service, so I pay $25 a month. But it gives me access to just about all transactions that take place in the state of Georgia. So if I need to verify something or look something up, I can easily do it with this site. Again, this is a fee-based one, but it's a good site. Next one I'm going to is multiple listing service. The multiple listing service is a service created by the real estate industry, mostly residential. Throughout the United States, every area has a group of real estate agents that have come together and formed an association. That association becomes part of the National Board of Realtors. In the city of Atlanta, there are 2 of these organizations. And it's very interesting as to why there's 2 of them. The Georgia Multiple Listing Service was a service that allowed African Americans to join it. There's another service, I can't think of the name of it because I don't use it. They were segregated and did not want blacks as real estate agents. As a matter of fact, the senator, one of the 2 senators from the state of Georgia, is Johnny Isakson. It was his dad that worked with the segregated Board of Realtors. So understand that, going back, and this is only till recently, to about the 70s, 60s, there were 2 boards in Georgia. And in a lot of southern states and southern cities, there are 2, one black and one white, or basically one white only, and the other one was integrated. This was the integrated one, so you know that's the one I used. I ain't using the other one. So I can go in this site This site is about $20 a month, but you can search single family homes, detached and attached. Like attached ones would be condominiums or townhomes. acreage and farm, commercial property, but their commercial property is not as good as LoopNet. Land lots, multifamily, and rental property. So if I go in here commercial, I can look at listings and I can look at ones that have sold. So let's look at listings. In Fulton. Now this data is put in by real estate agents. There's 174 listings, and we can look at different views. Let's look at the map view. So as you can see, we've got quite a number of sales of commercial property, and let's zoom in and look at some of it. Let's look at listings around Morehouse. Okay, as you can see right here around Morehouse, there aren't any. There's some in the area. Here's one on Haynes Street, and we can look at the detail. It's a commercially zoned lot with all utilities. So it's this vacant land over here in Castleberry Hill, located at the corner of Markham and Haynes, 1 block away from the Falcon Stadium. Wow. So it's a small piece of property, and they want $325,000 because it's so close now to the new stadium. It gives you contact information, who tells you the listing agent is. It gives you some more information. Tells you what the annual taxes were last year. And then we can link, and it'll take us into Fulton County property records. Remember where we were before. So it links directly into this site so that you can look that property up and get even more information. While we've got it, let's see what we have here. 65 Haynes Street. Doesn't have anything. They're not showing it in here because it's that vacant piece of property. Probably going to be difficult to find. So wouldn't you know it, I'd find one that's difficult. And that's because if it's vacant land, this number probably isn't right. This is a better number, 148479. 148479. So let's go back into it and look at it this way. See if we can find it. There it is. It just has Haynes Street. So this is the property going through Fulton County. And yeah, this is that corner lot that they're talking about. It sold back in 2005 for $310,000. So Carver Bible College sold it to this group for $310,000. And now they're trying to get their money out of it. And because the new stadium is coming in there, they might be able to get their money, at least break even on the deal. Another site is called Free Map Tools. And I really don't want to get into this now, but this is another site that allows you to create sophisticated maps and tie them into Google Maps. What I want to do is get back to this site. This is the web page that I told you about, where I have available all links for all types of information. So if you need to get zoning information, census data, topography, the layout of the site and whether it's hilly or not, flood maps. Let's take a look at flood maps real quick. In the state of Georgia, you can put in a piece of property, you know their address. Search for it. And zoom in, and you can see if the property is in a flood zone or not. Let me jump out a little bit. And you can see it's not. There's some flood. There's a flood zone here, probably a creek. There's another creek here. There's some water, but they're not saying it's in a flood zone. This is the flood map page, but this property is not in it. So you can look into a piece of property you're going to buy or a piece of property you want to check to see if it's in the flood map or not. If it's in the flood zone, excuse me. This flood map is updated and taken care of by the federal government and the state government. So people will know if they're in a flood, because you don't want to build your house inside a flood area. And in some cases you cannot do that. So this is a short little class about real estate and some of the services that are available online. I want to talk about one more. You may have heard of Zillow. And this is mostly for residential property. But Zillow has a lot of information on properties, and they're trying to get better and better at it. They're so-so. They're not as good as some of the paid sites, but they're getting better and better. So it's not going to be long before Zillow and some of the other sites are going to be pretty sophisticated with enough information in it to be used by professionals. Right now it's used by homeowners to check their neighborhood. And again, the data is so-so. It's not that great, but it's better than not having anything. All right, I want you to have a good weekend coming up. There will be an exam on this. Just make sure that you listen to this. And the exam will be up on Thursday and run till Sunday at midnight. If anybody has any questions about real estate, you can send me a text message. I will be back in class in a couple of weeks. and would be willing to talk to you about real estate, especially if you'd like to make it a career. And again, you can text message me. That's the best way to reach me. And if you want to set up a time to talk to me, just text message me a date and time that you'd like to meet or like to talk to each other. We can talk by phone or we can Skype. Or if you want to set up a time when I have traditional class, I'm available. After that traditional class, my last class ends around 1:30, and I'm available after then. Just let me know, and I'll hang around and wait for you. Normally, I go over there to Morehouse Cafeteria to grab something to eat, but I'll make an adjustment for you if you'd like to talk about real estate or anything else. But remember, if you need to contact me, text me a time and date that you want to talk, and I'll make it available. Thank you, and have a good weekend again.